everyone, welcome you all in SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia and myself Assistant Professor Myra Lachani. So today's topic is array in C++ programming language. This subject is having under Mumbai University. This subject is having FIIT students, first year information technology and first year computer science students in SEM 2. So let's start with the topic. Now what is meant by array? So first understand the definition of an array. An array is a collection of elements of similar data type stored in a continuous memory location referred by same name or common name. Okay. Before going to the definition, first we need to understand why there is a need of an array. See, if we want to store any value, that value can be anything. It can be a number or a character or a decimal number or a string. Sorry, in C++ does not support string data type. So it can be integer or decimal value. But for that we create or we declare one variable. Okay. So under one variable we can store only single value. But now suppose the scenario is like that. If we want to store more than one value, or it is a collection of values, like suppose if I want to store, I am teaching in FIIT students and I want to store the marks of FIIT students. So that is not a single value, it is a collection of, suppose there are more than 80 students or more than 90 students. So I have to store 90 numbers. Like for 90 students I have to store 90 numbers. So for that I have to declare 90 different variables. So data will be scattered, and until the end of the program, it is not feasible to remember all the name of the variables. So for that, the solution is we can create an array. Why this is the solution? Because if you see the definition, an array is a collection of elements. Okay, that means there is a more than one element. It is a collection of elements and which is stored in a continuous memory location. Means suppose first number is at the memory address 1001, then second will be at 1002 or 1003 or 1006, depend upon the size for that data type. Okay, so data is not scattered in array, it is stored in a continuous memory location and which is referred by same name or common name. That means if I am creating an array for 50 numbers or 20 numbers or 100 numbers, so for all those 50 numbers or 100 numbers there will be a common name, that is nothing but array. So once again I will repeat the definition. An array is a collection of elements stored in a continuous memory location and referred by same name or common name. So this is the definition for an array. So in your syllabus you are having two types of array, that is 1D array and 2D array. So one by one we will see both the arrays, 1D array and 2D array. So in 1D array the elements are stored in a single dimension, means in row format or in a single dimension array elements are stored. So the syntax for declaring an array, it is similar like variable declaration, only the difference is we need to give the size for an array. Ki under that variable how many elements compiler have to store or compiler have to allot the memory for how many values. So here is the syntax for declaring 1D array. So first is you have to give data type, then space, array name and size in square bracket. Okay, so the naming convention or the rules for giving the name to an array is similar like an identifier, which we have done in basic the video on basic programming concepts. So what are they? I will repeat or I will revise those rules again. That it is a collection, it can be a character or number, but it should begin with character only or alphabet only. Okay, we cannot give blank space in between array name or between identifier. Okay, and it cannot be, we cannot use keyword as an identifier, means I cannot use integer for my array name or for my array name or if for my array name, because those are the keywords. So I cannot use those as for my array name. Okay, and instead of space we can use underscore or dollar. Okay, so these are the rules for declaring an array. So here is the syntax for declaring 1D array: data type space array name and then size. We need to give the size. Under this name, how many elements have to or need to be stored. Okay, so here is the example. Here I am declaring an array for the integer values. So int is my data type space, then array, because array is not the keyword, so I am using the same name for my array name, and here I am giving the size 5. That means under this array name, compiler will store how many values? 5 values. Next is char, ch is my name of the array and 10 is the value. That means compiler can store 10 character values. Now, in the beginning of this video, I have told that C++ does not support string data type. Okay, so if we want, or is the requirement of the application that we need to store the string value. So this is the solution for storing the string value, that we can create character array for storing string value, because character array is nothing but the string. Okay, so C++ does not support string data type directly, but if we want to store the string value, we can create character array. So how we can initialize value to this array? See, now under one name we are storing 5 values or 10 values. So how will compiler come to know which value is storing where? So that can be, we can access that value, or we can, while storing or while displaying that value, we can use index number. Okay, usually it begins with 0, and if it is starting with the 0, then last size of the array element is size minus 1. Okay, so int a5, that means this a array will store 5 values, and in curly braces I am giving the value for this 5 array. Okay, then here under the character I am storing this value. See, I have told character array is nothing but the string, so I can store like this. In double inverted comma, if I am storing any value, that will be considered as a string. Okay, so this is the syntax for initializing value at compile time. Here is the value initialization at runtime or dynamically. Now, compile time, I know that 0 is my index position, 1 is my index position, 2 is my index position. But in runtime, how compiler will come to know, or how will tell compiler under this index value you have to store this value. So for that we are using for loop, because we are having for loop. We have done the for loop. It starts with one value and goes one. It can increment 1 by 1 or by 2 also, but here we require incrementation by 1. So for int I is equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. So when the value of I is 0, so compiler will store value at a of I, that means at a of 0th index position. Then I will get incremented, then next value will be stored at a of I, that means a of 1, and likewise. And again, for at the time of displaying the array elements, we can use same for loop. Instead of cin statement, we can use cout. So these are some programs which you need to do using 2D array, that are some searching techniques and some sorting techniques, linear search, binary search, then sorting, bubble sort, merge sort, insertion sort. So these are some questions that you can do practice at home. Next is 2D array. Now 2D array means array elements are storing in 2 dimensions, means in rows and columns. Okay. So for that again the syntax is same, only instead of one size we need to give 2 size. One is for row and second is for column. Data type space array name, first size is for row, second size is for row, column. Okay. Int arr 2 by 2, that means here I am creating a matrix of 2 by 2. Then how I can initialize value? Now in 1D array we need to give only single index value. Here we need to give 2 index value, one for row and second is for column. So here I am asking compiler to store this 10 value at a of 0th position. Okay, so this will store at first place, that is 0th row and 0th column. Next is 0th row, first column, and so on. Next, initialization at runtime or dynamically. Now for that we need to give two index value, one is for row and one is for column. So for that we are using nested for loop. Okay. So outer loop, this loop is called as outer loop and this loop is called inner loop. So outer loop is for row and inner loop is for column. So okay. So how compiler will store the values? It will take one row and all the columns of first row. Then you will go to the next row, then all the columns of second row and so on. So here the value of I is 0, I is less than 3, yes, condition is true. Then you will come under, inside the loop. The next for loop, j, here I am using j as a control variable, j is equal to 0. The value of j is less than 3, yes. Now the value of I is 0, value of j is also 0. So value will be stored at a of ij, means a of 0, 0th position. Okay, then we will go, compiler will increment the value of j, so j will become 1, I is still 0, okay, the value of j will become 1, 1 is less than 3, yes, condition is true, so compiler will come inside this second loop, then next value stored at a of ij, that means a of I is 0, j is 1, so 0 and 1 position, okay, and same for the displaying, we can use the same loop as it is. Instead of cin, we can use cout statement. So here are some questions that you can do using 2D array. So you can do the practice at home, and if you need the live demonstration of the array, then you can comment on the comment, you can give message in the comment box. So that's it for today's session. Thank you all.